And I want to bring in Republican Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado. Thank you so much for joining us, Congressman. Of course, you're not on the primary ballot for today. Tell us why you've decided to leave congressional politics.
Why did I decide to leave?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, I felt at the time that Republicans were telling a lie. The election was stolen. I just feel like my party has, as one of your previous guests said, a lady came up to me in the supermarket a few months ago and said that Donald Trump has stolen our party. And I am not going to, at the same time, I'm telling Americans in my district that we have to reduce spending and trying to gain credibility with people to make some very difficult decisions, go out and lie about a lot of other subjects.
You said that she said that Donald Trump has stolen your party. Do you agree?
Well, I certainly think there are a lot of disaffected voters. I think that when Donald Trump says if you gave money to Nikki Haley, there's no place for you in the Republican Party. There's no place for you if you vote for Donald Trump. I think there's a lot of Americans, a lot of Republicans who at this point in time are looking for an alternative. And I don't think Democrats are any happier than Republicans are, frankly, but I do think that Republicans are upset.
One of the leading contenders for your seat is controversial Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who has decided to run in your district. Do you think she's representative of your Republican Party?
I am not going to get into Lauren Boebert or anybody else who's running for my seat. I have done my very best to stay away from all those subjects. So I'm sorry, but I just can't go there.
Sure. Okay. If we look back at the Republican Party of yesteryear, let's maybe even go back 10 years ago. Do you think that same party is recognizable today?
No, I don't. My first vote that I cast for president was Ronald Reagan, and I consider myself a Reagan Republican. I think most people right through the Bush years consider themselves Reagan Republicans. And I think that the Reagan Republicans do not recognize this party, the priorities of this party. When the party turns over the party mechanism to a campaign before Super Tuesday, the family members of a candidate, the hand-chosen chair for the party, that's just something that has not been done in the past.
What do you see as the driving force behind what's changed the party?
Well, I think Donald Trump is clearly the driving force, and I think the MAGA followers are the people who frankly, out of frustration for what's been happening for years, where Republicans have spent too much money and have relied too much on big government. I understand the frustration. I don't necessarily agree with the cure for the disease.
Just days after the January 6th riot, you had Republicans like Kevin McCarthy, for example, saying Trump had to, quote, accept his share of responsibility for the violence, only to then seek his endorsement. And now a full 180 since then as they push for him to take back the White House. What do you say to your colleagues, and what do you attribute their willingness, eagerness, maybe in some cases, to just fall in line with that, as many call it, the Trump train?
Yeah, I think there's a political price to pay for standing up to Donald Trump and to standing up to the MAGA groups in each of the districts. I think that it's something that people don't realize. They didn't come here to be a Republican. They came here to represent America and to fall in line with a false narrative, to fall in line with values that are not values that we share as Republicans or Americans respect us for. I think is a mistake.
In an interview, you said populists have taken over the Republican Party and are advocating for things that you believe are very dangerous. What do you think about their platform? What part of their platform, I guess I should say, do you consider dangerous?
Well, I think the whole narrative around January 6th, I think that, the idea that somehow people who assault police officers or destroy federal property on January 6th are political prisoners. They're not. They're criminals, and they should be charged and they should be prosecuted. I believe that when we say that the Congress can overturn the will of the people as expressed in an election, it's just not what the founders intended, not what the Constitution says. There are a lot of narratives I think are very dangerous. I think the Ukraine narrative is dangerous, frankly. I think that as Republicans, we have always stood for a strong national defense, a national defense that stands up to authoritarian regimes like Putin and Russia. And by backing away from our support for Ukraine, I think we've made a dangerous decision.
Representative Ken Buck, we so appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.